Hello viewers, welcome to my channel, The Humble Artist. Please subscribe if you are new to my channel and turn the bell icon notification on so you never miss any new tutorial. I'm sure you have been watching my 30 days 30 challenge series where I'm focusing on easy painting techniques using watercolor. आज हम कुछ नया शुरू करने जा रहे हैं जिसमें हम पेंसिल कलर्स का इस्तेमाल करेंगे। मैंने डॉम्स के 24 शेड वाले कलर पेंसिल्स इस्तेमाल किया है और साथ ही साथ मैंने स्क्रीन पे और जितने मटेरियल्स यूज़ किया है वो मैं मेंशन कर रहा हूँ। आज की सीरीज में हम जो फोकस कर रहे हैं वो है स्टिल लाइफ ड्राइंग ट्यूटोरियल्स, जिसमें हम ट्राई करेंगे कि फोटो रियलिस्टिक इमेज का ड्राइंग बनाएं और उसी श्रृंखला में मैं ये फर्स्ट ड्राइंग है मेरा जो हाइपर रियलिस्टिक मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ। और साथ ही साथ में ये भी हम सीखेंगे कि कैसे पेन यूज़ करना चाहिए, किस तरह की पेंसिल यूज़ करनी है, कैसे पेपर्स यूज़ करने हैं, हाइलाइटर्स कौन सी यूज़ करनी है, मोनो इरेजर यूज़ करना है या नहीं है, या बिना मोनो इरेजर के हम आगे पेंटिंग बना सकते हैं। सो वो सारी चीज़ें ग्रेजुअली हम जानेंगे, सीखेंगे और इस्तेमाल करेंगे। So to start with, I'm creating the outline of cherry fruit, and I'm using an HB pencil, the mechanical camlin pencil, just to get the outline. Once I was sure of the outline, I erased what is not required. Now using the dark shade of red, I started with the outline just to give the shape of the cherry fruit। और मैंने यहाँ पे लेयरिंग का भी यूज़ किया है जो मैं आगे चल के आपको दिखाऊंगा। But to start with, what I'm doing right now is to give the outline. Once I'm sure of the outline, then I'm going to highlight this water droplets with the same shade of pencil. I'll give the outline, and once that is done, then we'll start with the base layer. What we have to be sure of is to highlight these outlines, because once you put the layer on the top of this outline will become very faint. So you have to be sure that when you make these outline, you have to make it little darker, or using a dark pencil, color pencil, you will have to do that. Now these outlines which I am making now will form the water droplets. It will form the texture on the cherry. So that's what I'm doing right now. और हमें ये भी ध्यान रखनी है कि हम बहुत धीरे से ये करें, आराम से करें, क्योंकि अगर हम कहीं गलती करते हैं तो ये इरेज होना थोड़ा डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाता है, क्योंकि हम डार्कर शेड यूज़ कर रहे हैं, उसको पेपर पे थोड़ा प्रेस करके कर रहे हैं, अप्लाइंग लिटिल प्रेशर। तो इसलिए ध्यान रखें कि आप जब भी ये करें तो श्योर हो जाए कि आप क्या शेप देना चाहते हैं और फिर उस चीज़ को वहाँ पे फाइनली इंक करें। So we are starting with the layering. So as you can see, I used a lighter shade from what the outline was, and using that I am giving one base layer. Strokes are to be very clear and it needs to be merged with each other. Take your time. And most important one is whenever you are doing it, there will be roughly 3 layers which will go one over the other. So ensure that you are using a proper strokes. Try to be in the shape of the cherry, which I tell to all my students as well. whichever shape you are filling the shades in, the same shape your stroke should be moving on. Rather than just filling the space, your pencil should move along with that. So that's something which I'm doing now. When it comes to the second layer, we have to increase the pressure and we have to merge it with each other. Once the base layer is ready, we have to ensure that these fine lines are not there, and to ensure that these fine lines are merged with each other, we generally use paper stamp, or you can use tissue paper. I will show it to you how to do that. But once you get a kitchen towel or a tissue paper, you have to fold it into half, and then make it more like a paper stamp, and then you can use that to merge it, with which we will be doing it. So I'm still uh, putting the third layer, again with a darker shade of pencil, and once this is done, then we will be using the a paper stamp to merge it together. Now, if you would have seen it here, when I'm using a darker shade, whatever outline I have prepared, it is getting merged. So that was the point I was mentioning, that we have to be very sure of what which color we are going to put, because if it's not a darker shade, we might miss out those outlines during our layering process. Moving further with the shading, I'm using a dark color pencil to give the outline of these water droplets. You have to ensure that you identify this texture and shade it again against the light, right? So the opposite of the light shade. So that's what I'm doing it now. So you will have to do it identifying all the. सो अब हम स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं कि डार्क शेड से. सो जनरली डार्क ब्लैक और ब्राउन दोनों चलेगा. अगर वो पेंसिल से आप इसके आउटलाइन, जितने भी वाटर ड्रॉपलेट्स हैं उनके आउटलाइन आप क्रिएट करेंगे. और साथ ही साथ में आपको ये भी इंश्योर करना है कि जो भी सेक्शंस आपके डार्क शेड में हैं, जिसमें आपको डेप्थ शो करना है, आप वहाँ पे इसे शेड करेंगे. सो ये शेडिंग बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि यही फर्क करता है आपकी 2D और 3D इमेजेस में. तो वो आप ध्यान रखें कि जब भी आप ये शेड यूज करें, जितने भी लाइटिंग्स, आपको फर्स्ट ये इंश्योर करना है कि लाइट किस तरफ से पड़ रही है, और उसके विपरीत दिशा में आपको वो क्रिएट करना है शैडो को. तो वो वाली आपको ध्यान रखनी होगी. Now I'm going to use a darker pencil to give the outline to the water droplets. We have to ensure that we take time when we are doing this. This is quite important because right now the water droplets are 2D. Giving this shade will help to show that in a 3D, and we will be using white eraser, mono eraser, to get the shine back on these water droplets. So which we will be doing, and then we will be using highlighter in the form of correction ink, or if you have a white jelly pen, we can use that as well. I tried with the white pencil which was provided with the set, but that is getting a little difficult to create that look when we want very specific white color. I'm using the paper stamp now, so this will help to merge the effect. So if you have a paper stamp, you can use that. Otherwise, you can use a tissue paper. You can roll it and try to make it more like a pen or a pointed tissue paper, and then you can merge these together. Or like what I'm doing as of now is taking a crumpled tissue paper and trying to merge that. So you can do that as well. Now I'm using a dark red pencil just to give the outline to these shapes. So that will help to accentuate the effect of this water droplet. I'm doing that. And once this is done, I will be using a flat brush. Using that, I will merge these together and so that it gives a very smooth finish. You can see that it is gradually giving that look that it is little outside. So to give it a 3D effect, it works well. Now I'm working on the shadow part of it. That's why I'm using a dark pencil and I gave the shadows wherever is required. So you have to ensure to identify the light source and then continue with that. I'm using a mapped mono eraser. In this, with this eraser, I will be giving the. I'll take out some of the colors from the layer using this, identifying each water droplet, and I can then pick this up. So now you can see that using this, I was able to remove a certain layer of it. Now that we are almost done with using this mono eraser, we will now shift to more highlighter. You can use a correction ink, which I have used from course. You can use that, or if you have a Sakura gel pen, you can use that as well. Jelly roll pen, you get that on Amazon. You can use that. These are few of the highlights where I was talking about getting a darker shades. So I'm trying to get that. I do not work directly in one layer. So if I have to give a darker shade, I will be trying to give it through 2 or 3 layers, which I did using a tissue paper just to so that I don't uh, put my hands by mistake on the color. So I am using that and using this Sakura Jelly Roll pen. I'm trying to give the highlight. To my dismay, it didn't work that well, and that's why I shifted to the other correction ink pen which I was talking about. But it can be just my pen, and it's just one odd thing. But yeah, you can try with that. I've seen people using it and they have been talking very high about it. That this is a good product. So yeah. Now the detailing work has started. If we see that the dark shades near the top of the cherry, so that is getting worked. As I have been talking about, that this color needs to be in the layers. So that's how every time going back and selecting a color and trying to put it there, and making the finer adjustment wherever is required, using the mono eraser or a flat brush. Now, talking about the stock, so that is where I'm starting with a light green, and that is done throughout. And then I will be using a darker shade of green, and then I'll give the shade to it. So, may not have to fill it completely, just based on how the lights are from where it is coming. So, we will be putting that. Now the final shading, which is happening now, uh, trying to give it the base shadow, और इसी के साथ ही ये लगभग खत्म होने को थोड़ा सा रिफ्लेक्शन के लिए मैंने वहाँ पे रेडिश दिया है और इसी के साथ ही my first hyper realistic drawing is ready and little bit detail here and there wherever is required. मैं आप सभी से अनुरोध करूंगा कि आप इसे ट्राई करो. Very low cost. You don't have to invest too much. Color pencil is 100 rupees, and this paper. You can use any good 120, 130 GSM paper. This is the one which I'm using is 130 GSM. This is good enough. आप ये use कीजिए and explore it. डरे नहीं, don't hesitate to experiment. I have done it that way. So in this series, I'll try and add more of these kind of. Hope you like my drawing. And if you liked it, you have watched it till this time, so please subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends and families, and help me to garner more subscriber. Thank you so much for your time. You guys have a good day ahead. Thank you.